Boom, here we go. Welcome the little bats. Every, everybody in here is gonna now be the little bat. It's late tonight, 12:30 where I'm at Eastern. Probably won't get any people coming in, but maybe it's good for maybe it's good for the reefer gangs. They might be up late on a Saturday. Generally speaking, my experience says that the reefer game is a lot of times 24/7, and you never know who's out there hanging out in their bunk trying to get loaded or unloaded. Uh, since I've done that, I know the struggles there. Sometimes they're just all kinds of hours. So uh, some of the people that I do know or have generally acquaintances with their channels. They do reefer. A lot of them do. Well, at least two of them that I know of do. So hey, it's come on with it. Come on with it. Simone with it. Yeah. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, I just thought I'd get on here at a unusually late hour, Saturday. Not sure if you do reefer, but I was thinking if anybody comes in, it likely will be reefer or people on the west coast, generally speaking, because it's 12:30 here. Uh, Starting this new little, I don't know what you would call it, just the way. Yeah, I've done reefer. I do flatbed now. I see that you do reefer, and yeah, I just thought that everyone that comes in can be a little bat now instead of you know everybody else. That way you can have a little colony. I don't know. Sounds crazy, but that's just what I'm thinking. Just kind of keep a theme of some sort going on for everyone to collectively just be included in the social group or subgroup. Um, I see you had to be the mechanic earlier. The landing gear was all wedged up to the frame. Is that? Do you think that's a landing gear that has that collar at the bottom that has rusted and has squeezed the pillars to make it hard, or do you think it's something else like ice or salt or grime? Yeah, I I've had to roll up and down, some landing gear before didn't look damaged at all. Maybe a little dry with no grease, but I watched some videos that said there's a ring right at the bottom, and sometimes that dirt or whatever gets in there and it actually starts squeezing in. The rust as well starts squeezing in and pinching in the outside and actually squeezing against the other. I don't know what it is that cranks up and down the shaft that's inside that slides up and down. And there's only really one fix for it, and that's to take a grinder, split that ring at the bottom, and then it opens up, and you knock all that rust and crud and road grime out of it, and then you have to squeeze it back, and weld it back, and then that it fixes the problem. I was surprised that the rust would push in on those tubes so much that you can't roll the landing gear up and down. Okay. Yeah. I had I had a similar issue. I had to drop a trailer uh, for them to load it, and when it came back, the handle itself was bent and twisted. I believe they probably hit something with it. The yard jockey most likely did. Um, so I had to make those repairs, and that wasn't fun because how do I roll my landing gear up when it's obviously broken and twisted in such a way that if I try to roll it up, it's not going to work. So I had to try to figure something out. Get some uh, crescent wrenches that I had on the truck. Yeah, yeah. That's the bolt and the nut. So just loosened it. Yeah. Did you drop the trailer and then had to hook up to another one? Is that what you came up upon? Like, do you believe somebody bumped into it or wedged it somehow, or was it a new trailer to you? I don't know if it was a drop trailer, but I don't know what the issue would be unless there is some type of damage or a new trailer that was to you, a new trailer to you. Um, but yeah, it's always good to have a little bit of a crescent wrench or something to be able to make those little, fixes, I guess, on the road fixes, because some people don't even think about that, right? Uh, I've pulled away with the airlines on. I've hooked the fifth wheel. I've hooked the fifth wheel. All these problems, but stuff. Yeah, I. It's funny. I didn't think I would be the person that would ever pull away with the airlines still hooked up, but I did. I just think it's one of those things where it's habit or something. I definitely have hooked the pin. I think what I did is I dumped the bags and pulled in, and the pin, the king pin on the trailer went past the lip of the fifth wheel plate, the skid plate. And man, I had it. I thought I had a real trouble there because I heard I think the fifth wheel was stuck too, so it wouldn't go up and down or needed grease. I don't know what it was, or frozen. Who knows? I can't remember, but I know I had the bags all the way down. Must have not thought about it, or was picking up a drop trailer. Some people put them lower. I don't know, but I slid under there. The kingpin just kind of popped off the front of the fifth wheel. I was watching to make sure I didn't run the reefer in the back of the cab or whatever. And so it was so close. I was like, what's going on? So I hopped out. And so the kingpin was right in front of the lip there, and my bags were down. So I had to deal with that. So I had to get the crowbar out, and let's see, how did I fix that? Because it's a spring or it's weighted one way or another to keep it, in that correct position, tipped down toward the back. So I took the crowbar. Hey, Snore Lord, saw the jam session today. That was good. Uh, so I took the crowbar and I just crowbarred it up and then stuck a rubber mallet underneath. And fortunately, that got it past the kingpin so I could pull back out. So yeah, that's one of those things that I've done as well throughout the throughout the time. Yeah, that's basically what I had to do is I had to keep that down far enough. And one person, I'm just glad I had I'm just glad I had the hammer. Yeah, Snorlord, I was letting come on with it know that you know everybody's now my little bats. That way I can kind of have a little theme going on, kind of develop my own little theme, I guess. I don't know what you call it. I don't know if that's a theme or not, but I think I think you get the picture. But yeah, it's a group or a colony of bats. A cauldron is also what it's called. So I guess there's a couple of them. Yeah, for sure. So what I'm doing up late tonight, I had a, I have a, I missed a delivery on Friday. I'm gonna just toss it in the air and say it's just kind of a miscommunication. A little bit of the fault was probably me, but a little bit of fault was probably elsewhere as well. But and I don't know where I was delivering. Normally they have a second or third shift, and I don't know if they laid off or not. It might be reality now that they're laying off some of the. What's up, Will Burner Express? How's it going? Uh, Good to see you in here. They might be laying off where I deliver, so I'm not sure what's going on there. So I'm having to sit on the load all weekend. Um, so what I'm doing here is I'm gonna start adding this driver to the Motive ELD. Have to get them up and running. If you don't know, if no one knows, I guess uh, have a driver coming on, first driver paid for their school, and I know the person personally, so that was one of the ways that it would work out because essentially I have the company. There's no rights for the person that pays. It's only the driver in school basically has the rights, unless you're a mega carrier or something, have contracts drawn up. And they told me it's an expensive process to go through that process. So, if I'm not running, you know, 100 drivers a quarter through, it's probably not worth it. Um, so yeah, I got the Motive dashboard up, uh, starting to add him in there. He's a manual driver, so that's good. He's not automatic restricted. Bringing him on, got to pick him up uh, on the way back. I'm on the border of Virginia and North Carolina right now, and delivering North Carolina. Home base is Indianapolis, Indiana there, and so I'll try to get something back through that'll take me through there so that I can pick him up and let him start. It'll be an adventure for me because it's going to be a team situation um, to start with. I believe that's going to do the make the best sense. And since the trailer's a flatbed, I'll be able to run them through the quick and dirty first about what's needed uh, to stay safe on the flatbed, and that is a big concern. Anyone that's done it before knows that the load's secured, And I don't believe the school taught them anything about load securement. I don't even know if the school taught them. I'm going to find this out soon enough, whether or not the school even is teaching the logbooks anymore, because the person shared with me it was like of no concern, of no importance whatsoever about the logbook. So I don't I don't know yet because I'm going to explore the topic, you know, with him. I don't think they did paper logs even as a demonstration. So it can be figured out, but uh, that's a concern that I have about, what's the school teaching them, just running them through the driving test, and that's about it. I don't really know. So hopefully I'll be able to see the materials that the class has, and they're required to be accredited now. So I guess that's good on one side and not so good on another. I'm not sure. Just kind of looking at the comments to make sure I'm not missing anybody. I see a couple of them there. Everybody's saying hi, it looks like. Yeah, come on with it. I just printed out the new one that's uh, the new ELD instructions and put it in the permit book. Um, I had the keep trucking one, and I don't even know where it's at. It's in one of the file folders I have probably on the truck. So when it switched over, I'm going to make sure that there wouldn't be an issue with a wrongly branded instruction book. So I just printed one out, saved a saved a file so I can print one out if it gets lost, or if I need to duplicate something for someone. But yeah, I appreciate that for giving me a friendly reminder about that. Uh, I let the driver know he needs to download the driver ELD, and hopefully that'll be good to go. And we're going to be together. And part of the process, that that I went through as well was I had to ride with someone or drive with someone, for a week or two, something like that. So I'm going to put him through the similar thing where I'm going to be riding along, helping to coach some things, let him get familiar with the truck, know where the Jake breaks at, know where the cruise is at, just allow him to get familiar with the truck too, because we usually and typically are 48,000 pounds, roughly. So we're close to 80,000 every time. And with him, with him having very little understanding of diesel and a little understanding of the actual weight, uh, I need to try to help him along, uh, so we're all safe. Because I'm going to be riding in this thing too, and hopefully be sleeping. So it'll be a team for long enough to get the next truck, trailer, whatever it is. I believe it'll turn into a good thing. Um, yeah, I'm looking at make sure he's good on his numbers. Yeah, hopefully he'll be. He drove one of these like Sprinter vans, so he's somewhat familiar with driving. Obviously, he didn't drive as much as we do in a day, so I'm not sure if he'll need any help working up to the miles. But I did tell him, we need to get up to 500 miles him driving in his shift before we can move to 600, um, 620. It's at the 600, 620 number, it starts getting a little tougher trying to find that place to park and schedule. So, um, I'd like to get him to the 500, to make sure he's good with that. I believe he will be. Most people can handle it if they've driven before, sitting in the seat for a while, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, baling wire will hold anything. No need for straps, no need for chains, right? No need for binders. Just get your wire strippers out and your fencing wire and just, tie a bunch of chicken wire over top, I guess, right? Okay, yeah. I'll thank you again. Yeah. Um, the incentive for the person really, yeah, I'm seeing some comments pop up. The incentive for him is that he is he has an interest in the success of the company. So because he has that incentive, um, and he already knows that I or the company am making uh, making opportunities available for him, and helping him out already. And I'm not trying to say that he's in any way in desperate need, but I'm saying that it's working. It seems to be a very good circumstance. We have to knock out a few details, and we're working on them together. Uh, so uh, after he gets in the truck, and when we figure out, when I kind of figure out um, what I want to share about the circumstance, I believe he's incentivized and will be incentivized via his own self interest. So, um, generally speaking, I'm going to try to uh, get him about try to get him about 60 cents a mile to start with. Um, so I don't think that's too bad. Um, it's not the best. The best, I could be criticized by some people saying, not paying enough or whatever, but he has he's working with me as well. Um, so it's just kind of a little bit of a circumstance that might be a little bit harder if you don't know the person. Uh, I've known this person for quite some time. Um, so, with that being said, yeah, incentive and motivators should be that I already know he wants to make as much money as he can. Um, he's going through a divorce and struggling with a few things, but I will tell you this: one of the things that led up to his decision to do this was that he's been working for a place for 5 or 6 years, and he went in and asked for a raise because they're hiring brand new people off the street for, I think it's five, maybe even $6 more an hour. And he's been there 5 or 6 years. So, and they did not or would not give him a raise. And so that goes to show you on how companies may be operating nowadays. I don't really know, because everyone should be getting a raise. I mean, unless the company's going under, I don't know, but it would seem that asking for what the new people are getting walking in the door doesn't seem unusual to be able to, you know, pay him that. So that's what drove him to leave. And it wasn't me. I was just sharing my information with him along the way, uh, and that's that's what helped him decide. So yeah, yeah, you're right. It's the business side, uh, that he doesn't have much experience, so it'll be teaching him that as well. And I'm coming from a good place, and to share the information with him about all that I know, on the business side, and help him structure himself in such a way that uh, is as advantageous for him as possible. Um, Not saying that he has to follow everything or anything, but I'm also providing him, access to a CPA who can also share information with him, and maybe even come from a more valid source for him. And he doesn't have to accept everything that I say, things like that. So I believe that'll be good, as the company develops. Okay, Will Burner's saying 550 is a good number. You'll make your money and he'll get parking. Yeah, yeah. I don't see any problem with 550 when you start loaded and end loaded. Um, I don't believe that anyone should be doing really less than that. I mean, that's 50 miles an hour for 11 hours. And if you can stay on the road or hit the rest areas where you use the restroom, and that's pretty much about it, and get your drinks and everything else, at when you fuel or whatever. That sounds like a good number. I just was hoping that 500 would be my first thought of, um, to find out how he's handling the driving. Uh, Kind of one of my first points, to kind of get to. And after he can handle that, that'll be good. After he goes up and down a mountain, starts floating his gears better than he does now, because obviously when you put the weight on it, he's going to have to shift a little different. So I'm going to have to deal with that. Um, but it has to be done. I mean, that's how I'm looking at it now. All these things have to be done. I have a new transmission that's like a year old, in the truck, so hopefully it'll handle those things. The drive lines all new. I don't know what I've shared, but I've had the carrier bearing, all the U joints replaced, the transmission and clutch. And so um, it should be able to handle a little bit. I mean, it should be able to handle a little bit of new driving. Uh, what facilitated me doing all those repairs, my first major repair was a drive shaft that broke. I was somewhere around Elk Mountain, um, Rawlins, Wyoming, there, just going up the mountain and just boom, just a really, really loud noise that frightened me because I didn't know what was going on. So hopefully that'll be all good. Come on with it. Yeah. I'm not. I'm not down south. Um, I'm more east than south right now. North Carolina, Virginia line. And yeah, Snorlord showed the south was decent for flatbed right now. The question that I'm having, I guess that's called a snowbird. When during the winter time, people go to the south to stay away from the snow and stuff. That's fine. I don't know if that means you are a van or reefer or flatbed. Um, I have been trying to go out of Indiana because of the relationship that I thought I had developed. We can get into that in a minute because the broker that I've been working with for a year, year and a half, decided to drop their rates by almost $2 a mile. So I might I might be heading south there just to keep putting miles in, because it seems like that's a good area. Mississippi, Arkansas, Alabama. Not sure if you would say Texas or not, because when I did look at coming out of Texas, it seems like the load postings were kind of low. I don't know why that is, because everybody says it's like $3 a mile, all the time. But then you look at the load board here and there or whatever, and it's like, $1.50, $1.75. I'm like, why are they even posting these loads for that money? And why even go in if you know you're not getting out? It's kind of like the Florida thing. I mean, you need to have some big money going in there. And it's like the Colorado thing. If you go to Colorado, you better be getting paid, at least on the flatbed side, because they're trying to pay you $1 going out. It's kind of a kind of a tricky situation there. Um, so yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do, because when we're when we're running a team, getting him back to Indiana, uh, that's going to be that's going to be one of my biggest challenges, is keeping everybody moving. So I don't know. I honestly don't know what kind of a how the company is going to change or evolve. It may be reefer, and picking up some loads, uh, maybe in the Wisconsin area. I don't really know that for sure yet. Um, Trying to work with, well, I believe that DIY talks about how he might have some opportunities available, but we have to discuss multiple things before I know whether or not a reefer or a reefer trailer will be my next purchase, or if it'll be the truck, or if it's going to be a truck and a trailer. Um, so things are going to change with the company and the operations. So we'll find out um, what happens. I don't think there would be anything negative with having two options available: a flatbed and a reefer. So we'll see what happens from as I continue to talk with them about whether or not uh, there are needs on both sides. It'll be win-win either way if it happens. But yeah, the memorizing what gear and the road speed, um, that has been a tremendous help for me. It was taught to me like, uh, if you're 45, you add 4 and 5, that's 9. So I guess, and that's with the Eaton Fullerton speed. Um, and then if the RPM, like it's governed or whatever, or has a rev limiter somewhere around 15 or 16. uh, I think he drove Volvos at school. I told him if he can, if he has the opportunity, he should be driving the DD15 Eaton Fuller 10 speed Freightliner Cascadia, so that he has as much experience as he can before he gets in the seat here, because that's what this is a Freightliner and DD15 Cascadia Eaton Fuller 10 speed. So uh, but he did use the Eaton Fuller 10 speed, so that I guess that's a Volvo. I don't believe that the Volvo would have it wouldn't have the Detroit in it. I think he told me it has the uh, the are they the D, yeah, D 11 or D 13. Yeah, I'm sure there are those little differences come on with it. Generally speaking, this truck, um, it's like, you have your 1 through 5. Those are all are like basically so quick that there's really nothing there as far as that goes. But then you get to somewhere around 10 miles an hour on the upshift. When you're in fifth, you get to 15 miles an hour in fifth gear, and that's tacking out. It's somewhere around 15 or whatever, uh, or 1500, and so that 1 and that 5 on the 15 miles per hour equals 6. So you go to sixth at 15, and then you stay in sixth until you get to 25 miles an hour, and that's 5 and 2. That's seventh gear. So that means go up to seventh, and then 3 and 35 miles an hour is 8. So you go to eighth. 45 is 9. So you go to 9, and then stay in 9 until you get to 55. 55 is 10. So you go to 10. And that's how this one works. They also taught me that on the paper when they were trying to teach me some ways to shift the truck. So that's the way this one works. Downshifting is a little bit difficult, um, but it's not. It is, but it's not. So what you do is you subtract 5. So if you're in 10th gear, you don't downshift at 55 and you don't downshift at 45, you split the difference. So you subtract 5 from the top or add 5. So you're at 55. When you get to 50, you're going to ninth. Uh, or if, you know, or if you want to go to ninth and it's 45, you add 5. So however you think about it. So subtract 5 off of each shift point, 5 miles an hour. And that's a good way to downshift. So yeah, those are very helpful hints for someone to get used to, and trying to look at the mile per hour, speed, uh, mile per hour and shift and watching your mirrors and watching traffic and everything else. It'll take a minute, but then, after he gets used to it, it'll be good, so that's generally how this one works. Uh, I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm already at 40 minutes on here. I didn't realize I was on here that long. I have a shower that I'm going to end up getting to. I get to do that when I'm here at Love's. Okay, I hear you. What kind of truck do you have? Um, or engine or transmission, or I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I remember. Uh, okay, all right. Going from fifth to sixth, it goes a long way, but it's usually sixth is where things start to move a little bit faster and get a little bit smoother for me. So yeah, if you're coming out of, let's say if you're coming out of fifth gear and you're actually getting, uh, if you're getting above, 15, if you're getting somewhere into 20, then that would that would mean that, yeah, when you're hitting sixth, it might be kind of hard to get in. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been considering that 12.7 or 14 Series 60. Um, I just don't know. I was thinking about it more than once, and I've thought about it more than once because I've heard so many good things about them that it's like, okay, go older or go newer. I'm a 2009 Cascadia, and um, oh yeah, well you've done some work then if you have the Pittsburgh Power tune and everything else. Yeah, that sounds really nice. I'm just the 2009. Everything tells me, everything tells me that it's has about, well, it's probably getting close to about 450,000 on it now. Uh, that's what everything's telling me. Um, okay, all right. I'm not sure. I've heard that the '07 on the Detroits. Um, I can't remember if it's 2004 or 2005. That's when they added the EGR, and there's really no no issues or anything. They just said that if they had a choice between the years of the 60 series, only because I guess they removed a little bit of the block or something to make it. Yeah, that's all that I heard about. Some mechanic talking on YouTube and saying, if there was any preference at all, you know, between those, that's what they would say. But yeah, the odometer on the truck is, I think I'm at 1.3 now on this 2009, but I believe everything tells me, the engine is probably at the 450. Okay, all right, yeah, I didn't know I didn't know it was the '03. Yeah, so that's I don't have DEF, and I'm glad that I don't because I was, data manufacturer was 2008 and the truck's 2009. So I'm not trying to I'm not trying to have DEF standards put on the truck. I know I can't go to California. I don't have the clean idle sticker on the side of the truck. So that's where I'm at. I'm trying to decide the, the truck, should it be the 60 series, generally speaking, or should I go to the 2015 or 18? And I don't know if I don't know what's the best choice because going older likely to have less problems other than preventative maintenance things like U joints, differentials, all the bushings, everything else. I don't know yet. And then and then if going up, they're probably 700,000 miles for some of these 15 to 18 trucks that they want pretty big money for still. So I'm trying to think. There was I have seen a Western Star with I think a Cat, uh, 15 liter, uh, with like 200,000 mile rebuild on it or something, 2 years old with the paper. So I'm just like I don't know what I should do on that decision. Uh, okay, yeah, I've someone mentioned that whole ohm resistor. I don't know what number the ohm is, and I don't know. I guess they may go out. I don't know. So the person showed me. Uh, yeah, that's way better. I'm getting my best all time was like 7. Realistically, I'm getting 6 mpg. I've had really bad one. I must have been going straight into the wind and everything else. but I've had one show up at 5.5, and it's usually 6.2. So I'm thinking six uh, is a lot. Uh, so spending quite a bit in fuel, and I've been listening to the channels that have been sharing a lot of their industry knowledge with everyone. Like Cash is King, and his strategies there is are sound, and I appreciate him sharing those things um, with, I'll say, the community, because it has helped me tremendously to have someone tell me without me having to figure it out on my own. Someone supplying that information is so valuable to say, hey, look, if you increase, your MPG by a mile or something, a gallon, you're going to save whatever it is, 20 or $50,000 in a year. So that kind of like buys the truck. With a flatbed, I'm not sure how good my gallon can get. So that's why I'm struggling with the mile per gallon that I'm getting in this truck, because I know it's flatbed, and it's just not aerodynamic at all. Um, so those are some good numbers there. One with it. Okay, yeah. So took out all the sensors, cleaned them, changed the turbo speed sensor, and picked up a lot of power. And yeah, um, that tune. I don't know if they did all those changes. But I do know the person that showed me that resistor. Uh, they had like five of them on their little cardboard box, and I was like, okay, yeah. Uh, I'm not sure what you refer to by a fleet air cleaner. Um, I run, you know, I think it's just the normal uh, air filter that goes in the on top of the. Oh no, wait, fleet air cleaner. I think that's like the $500 one, right? I don't run that one. I've heard that that's a tremendous help, and I don't know if it's a tremendous help for every engine. I don't know if it is because the additional airflow. But no, I do not run that one. Uh, I've heard about it. I've seen them at like the Iowa 80. I never did find the one for this truck uh, to find out how much they are, because I don't know the model number yet. Okay, that's also the one kind of like the K&N where you can clean it or re-oil it, something like that. I believe that's what that one is. Um, I run Fuel Ox. Yeah, it's under the hood, right on top. Yeah, it's under the hood, right on top of the head or valve cover. Um, it's just like a rectangle, has like a round cylinder that maybe um, connects to a little rubber gasket or something on the bottom of the hood. I think that's what it is. Uh, Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I've heard K&N for automobiles make a difference there as well. Um, I know the fuel ox, I believe, has made a difference with the truck. Just the fuel additive. I don't know if it runs cleaner, better, or if it's cleaning out, whatever might be on the DPF. But it seems to be, well, okay. Um, I will have to look it up. Um, I don't know how I don't know how often it has to be cleaned or re-oiled or how difficult it is to replace. But I am getting to the point. I am getting to the point where I'm starting to get a few things around me to be able to do a little bit of the maintenance stuff myself. I've done some work already, but I haven't really done the oil changes or greased everything up yet. I've been on the road a lot and probably spending a little extra money that I don't need to. uh, yeah, uh, that would that would help tremendously. Yeah, and it probably pays for itself in the month, right? Most likely that's most likely one of those things. I put the Centromatics on the truck and the trailer, uh, and maybe that's how I got up to seven. All right, 40 to 50,000 for the maintenance. All right. I put Centromatics on the steers, drives, and trailer axles, um, and on the trailer has the auto inflators on the back, so I'm good there. Uh, and then I put or had the crossfires put on the drives to keep the duals at the same pressure, and all the duals I'm running 105 psi in the drives and 110 on the steers. Uh, oh wow, okay, yeah, you're right. Um, I need to really focus in on that. As fuel costs are ridiculous, so every bit of that will make operation better. So yeah, for sure. Um, I'll be typing that up here tonight and looking that up. Actually, I might even before sometimes I'll open up a tab and while we're talking here, so I don't forget. I'll come back here, but yeah, it's looking like it's about 400. But I guess the normal filter for this truck anyway is 100 or 150. So it's not even like it's that big of a difference. I mean, yeah, if the ROI is a month, that's I it's like I would be stupid to not do it. I mean, so yeah, those are great tips. I appreciate it. Yeah, I believe I will be getting off here though here shortly. So I'm glad you came in. Um, yeah, and $100 a week is nothing small. That's a well worth Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't like another $100? Uh, given all the circumstances. So yeah, and this is a where I'm trying out my new theme, I guess, for the, I don't know if it's the lives or videos, but I've been thinking about doing it this way, kind of signing off with a, try the alternative, or you know what it is, try the alternative. So you'll start hearing that on my videos or lives. So make sure you try the alternative. We'll keep a theme like that. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here, and I'm sure I'll see you in other people's chats, or and we'll talk. And I appreciate the fleet filter suggestion. I haven't thought of that in quite some time. Have a good night, and I appreciate it.